Welcome everyone to another edition of the Argentina Brief, this time for Monday, June 29th. A packed week from the fallout of the Adorni scandal to a nuclear reactor proposal, so let's get into it. So let's begin with the aftermath of the Adorni scandal. The latest Atlas Intel poll for Bloomberg News showed that Argentines overwhelmingly disapproved of how Milei handled the corruption scandal involving his former chief of staff. Almost 99% of people polled were aware of the case, more than 80% thought Adorni likely committed financial irregularities, and nearly 70% rated the government's response as bad. Still, he's near the lowest he's been in popularity, so something to take note of. The big political winner was Senate leader Patricia Bullrich, who criticized Adorni as the scandal grew. Now she's the most popular government figure in the country. Adorni's replacement, Diego Santilli, took over on Tuesday. Worth noting that Milei himself called him corrupt back in 2023. On the economic front, a mixed bag of data. Activity contracted 1.5% in April from the month before, worse than expected, even though it rose 1.6% year over year, which was still below expectations as well. So another reminder that this recovery remains uneven, with agriculture, mining, oil and gas expanding, while manufacturing and construction keep lagging. But there was positive news on the reserves front. The central bank rolled over $6 billion in repo loans with international banks, pushing those maturities out to 2028 and clearing the path through the 2027 election campaign. Still, some $10 billion in bond payments will be due next year, and the market keeps waiting on an announcement of an international debt issuance before then. Central Bank Vice President Vladimir Verning sought to show the bank's firepower in a recent presentation. He said that they have the equivalent of $20 billion in additional tools to defend the peso next year. The government, however, says it's confident that they won't have nearly as much volatility as what we saw ahead of the 2025 midterms. On the investment side, three big stories. YPF brought in Italy's Eni and the UAE's XRG as partners in the upstream part of Argentina's LNG project. Second, renewable energy powerhouse Genneia filed for an IPO on the New York Stock Exchange that would be the first Argentine listing on Wall Street since 2019. And Meitner Energy proposed the construction of a $1.2 billion nuclear reactor, likely to become the first application of the Super RIGI investment benefit scheme. Back to that K-shaped economy, auto production fell more than 18% in the first half of 2026, pointing to a third straight down year for factories. On the flip side, Chinese imported brands like BYD have been climbing up the monthly sales ranking. Local car makers have complained about municipal and provincial tax burdens remaining high, while the UIA Industrial Union says Argentina still has one of the highest tax rates in the world. And to end on a colorful note, Argentine fans are once again leading World Cup travel, at least from South America, topping Airbnb bookings across US host cities as they follow Messi and the reigning champions. That's the week. Don't forget to follow the Argentina Brief on X for the full thread with all the details on a weekly basis, and also be sure to follow the YouTube channel and Spotify account, as well as Apple Podcasts, for the monthly hour-long podcast. Episode 4 just dropped this week, so don't miss it.